Mic on.
Buenos dias, compadres. uh, just want to say good morning. Start this thing out. A little bit of a slow morning. How are you guys doing this morning? Me, a little tired. It's been a great weekend. Lots of gaming. Lots of gaming. Looks like AMC not doing too bad in the after hours and pre-market. Today we've got a PSG jersey on for my PSG fans out there. Let's get right over into take a look at Fintel. We'll just get right into it this morning. Probably won't stream for very long this morning unless the market just does some crazy stuff. First, need a sip of that coffee to help wake us up here. Alright, I updated this twice this morning, and the first time when we looked at the short volume ratio stayed the same. However, the short shares availability was at 600,000 about 49 minutes ago. This is probably a little bit later or more. Okay, so now we're up to 1.6. So that's what they're saying, and you can see it jumped up again. However, short borrow rate fee has went down since last week. Again, we just kind of use this as information to see which way we're kind of trending. Volume ratio is still kind of going up. However, the borrow rate fee and the short shares availability are kind of changing. Like I said before, I'm fine with this staying under 2 million. We'll probably see it start to go down again as we start to go up and they start to short the stock out a little bit more. We'll see the availability go down and the borrow rate fee go up. However, we know that these numbers are probably not the most accurate, so this is just one set of information that we use just to kind of keep us up to date with what's going on over on AMC. Jumping right into it, looks like we got about 40 seconds until the opening bell. What I didn't say this morning is que pedo, que anda, que pasa, que tal. How you guys doing this morning? Still waking up here. So we will zoom right in and see. Currently sitting about $10.33 on AMC. We'll look at the flex grid and take a look at GME. GME actually held up pretty nicely. You can see the lines we set last week of support and resistance here, and we're kind of just trading underneath between those lines for most of it. We did bounce below a little bit in the pre-market to start off, and then a little bit over, and then kind of just consolidated back within within those lines. Let's take a look at the live price action here. I'll zoom in on both. Let's see which way we're going to start moving to open the market this morning. Yeah, sorry if I sound a little stopped up. I cut my grass this weekend, and the pollen out here is pretty bad. There was a very interesting video I watched from Jeffrey Forbes over the weekend that he put out on AMC, and I suggest you guys go over to his channel, take a look at it, see what you think about it. It just kind of discusses, I think it's the a Swiss bank or the Credit Suisse. I'd have to watch the video again to polish up on what he actually talked about, but it was basically saying that there's a hedge fund that's in some possible deep trouble here, and that Goldman Sachs actually has pulled out their funding or something like that. So go over his channel, check out some of his videos. He's got some really good information. He's a lot more knowledgeable than I am in the market. Again, I do this for pure entertainment. I am not a financial advisor, as you will see if you just watch my streams. I'm just trying to document my journey to becoming a day trader, and to gain some freedom in my life, with some extra money, and hopefully one day I can make this a full-time job for myself, so that way I'm living for the time, not so much the money. And it looks like we're kind of shooting down here. I still think we're going to use last week's level of support at about $10 as our level of support. to kind of start off. GameStop looking like 177. Yeah, a little bit of a sell-off here. I did read an article this morning, and I'll see if I can pull it up here. It was on TD Ameritrade, and this is actually probably news for. There we go. Right here. So it's an article. Where even is the title? This is like the weirdest like news setup they have here. But basically it talks about a number of his executives who haven't sold over the last few years, sold a large amount. One in particular sold, it was about half of his position in AMC. It was 100,000 shares that he sold, and I believe he still has 138,000. So we won't read all of this. Kind of just gives you some background on AMC, but here it is. 4 executives sold a total of nearly $3 million of AMC stock earlier this month. AMC didn't immediately respond to a request to make them available for comment on their stock sales. The selling was led by Stephen Colanero, Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer, who sold 100,000 AMC shares on March 23rd for $1.1 million or $10.52 each on average. He now owns 108,000, so just under 50% of his position, according to a form he filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Colanero, who had been working with the company since 2009, last sold stock in June 2018, receiving 86,000 for 5,364 shares, per share average of $15.95. So he took a little bit of a hit, so not really sure why he sold. Goes on to say Kevin Connor, Senior VP, General Counsel, and Secretary sold a total of 72,358 shares over March 16th and 17th for 982,000 per share average of $13.58. Connor, who had been with the company since June of 2007, now owns 65,884 AMC shares. Elizabeth Frank, Executive VP, Worldwide Programming and Chief Content Officer, sold 40,000 shares on March 16th for 542,000 on average, a price of $13.56. Frank, who had been her post since July 2012, now owns 173,780 shares. So, just probably about a quarter of her position. Give or take a few. I'm not really doing the full math here, but it looks like 173 plus 40. You guys get the hint here. Chris Cox, Senior VP and Chief Accounting Officer, sold 29,068 AMC shares on March 16th for 373,000 on an average price of $12.86. Cox, who was named to his position more than a decade ago, now owns 42,000 shares. So he, just under 40% of his position as well. AMC executives aren't the only recent stock seller. Private equity firm Silver Lake, actually reminds me of the movie with God, I can't remember his name, Spider-Man. Under the Silver Lake, I think is the name of it. It's a weird movie about media and conspiracies, and definitely recommend you guys check it out. Which had been one of the company's largest investors, sold its entire stake on January for $713 million. So this is old news here. So, again, this is just an article that they have on TD Ameritrade. I don't really know what that means for us. I mean, seems like these guys taking some losses here. Don't know why they would sell. Maybe just to get some money, It's a rough year last year. Maybe they took a salary cut. Anyhow, going back to the charts. Get rid of that. Go monitor just AMC here, and currently sitting at about 1027. So looks like we found our bottom for the time being, just about 1009. And yesterday, or on Friday, last trading day, if you remember, we hit a low of $10.01. So never even touched $10 mark. Finding some support there, about 1019 for the day, or 1009 as I was. So somewhere down here. I'll set that right there. We'll take a little peek in here and see where we trended at. So looks like we did use that 1009 a couple times here. So yeah, you can see we kind of rode on top of it, bounced off of it, and then trended on upwards. So we'll leave that in just for the time being for today. hopefully we can get a push and get past this 1050 mark. This is a huge level resistance here that I don't quite think once we got below it we ever really passed it. No, we did not. So had some good looking runs in the pre-market this morning to kind of push it up. I think we got to 1040 something. Looks like it says there 1063. So actually we did trend above this 1050 part here, and I don't know what I was looking at here. Yeah, maybe I was looking at this line at 1088, 1090. So we did trade above that 1050, not for very long in the pre-market. So I'm looking to kind of get back to that point, test that level of resistance, and push through it, and just see what the stock is doing. We'll take a look at the volume, and we'll actually compare it to last Friday. And as you see on Friday, I won't go first minute, I'll go second minute. 897, 680, 1.2, and that was in about 5 minutes there. So between the 6s and 800,000 mark. And starting off today, second minute here, we've got 388, 230, 270. So a lot less volume today than what we saw on Friday. I don't know if that's going to be good or bad. I mean, we're seeing some green right now, so I'm okay with it. We did reach some oversold territory here in the pre-market hours, quite a few times actually. I'm sorry. Yep, never reached overbought, except for right when we opened pre-market. So right at that point, we saw some oversold or overbought, and then that was pretty much it. Some of our other positions, just kind of floating around here, not doing too much. You know, mostly we're interested in AMC. It's kind of where we set with not really our largest position, but just under half of my portfolio is probably AMC. I am diversified slightly, but I believe in this stock here, so we'll see if we can get up here and test this level of resistance here, about $10.50, and see if we can get a push past this morning and kind of ride back up. You know, I would like to see us close above 1050 today. That's my conservative. I mean, honestly, I'd really like us to get up another 20% day or even 10% day. I'd like to see us push up to above $11, and you know, maybe we can do that. But if we push above 1050, if we close in the green today, I'll be okay. For those of you who can't even talk this morning, I gotta wake up. For those of you who have been following the channel throughout last week, you know that we took a position in AMTX, a biodiesel alternative fuels company. Currently down from last week, so we'll check it out here. Actually, looking up, down from close due to the pre-market low here of 22.14. I think we are looking to sell here at about 28.03, depending on the run. And the reason why we like this, you know, nothing to do with the company, other than if you go back to the 188 chart, I mean, you can see we're reaching all-time highs, and I think this is a nice little swing trade that will continue on upwards. So we got in just below this 27.44. I think we got in at 26.70. I am pretty sure. Only a few positions here just to test out the swing trade and see if my analysis is accurate. So 2 positions at 26.70. Not much, you know, just something to play around with, just something to have some fun while we're waiting on AMC to explode and do its thing. Still got to keep that practice of swing trading and some day trading. So anytime I have just you know, a couple dollars lying around, I can throw it to a few positions and just kind of test out the swing trade and just see how it goes. So you can see, I think this was on Wednesday or Thursday. It's the 24th. We reached its all-time high of 27.44. Got some alerts set here. Then I've got a limit order set. So we had a little bit of a pullback, and I think that this week we will continue on upwards and test that all-time high and set a new all-time high. And at that point, you know, I'll reevaluate where we were at. Right now I've got it set for about 5% profit, which is kind of my target goal for most positions, 5% or so, and then we'll see if we want to sell or you know, what kind of run it's going to make. Once we get closer, I've got a little limit order set. Once we reach underneath this 27.45 42 price level. Where's my target at? I think it's, yeah, 27.42 is where I got the target. So just under this 27.44 all-time high. Once we get up to that point, it'll alert me, and we'll just reevaluate and see where we stand. If we want to exit the position and take profits or not. If we think it can keep trending on upwards, but we'll see what it looks like, because when it does make a run, it tends to make a run for a few days before it has a pullback. So we'll see here if it's done, or if it's going to continue up, but just want to be transparent with my position there. So still got low volume in AMC this morning, but we're seeing some green. Little pullback here to start the morning and then continue on up. I think we'll test this level of resistance here at 1050 here shortly, probably within the next few minutes. So I'd say somewhere right here. And looks like we might test it even sooner. And we're testing, so just go ahead and get rid of that. Now let's see if we can get push. If we can get a push above this and actually close 2 candles above this mark and start testing our next level of resistance. That's really what we're shooting for here. Not doing too bad. I'm actually liking it this morning. So there's a lot of videos out there for you guys who want some other content. Maybe you stumbled on mine by accident from some of the just the short gaming videos or motorcycle videos that I had on my channel. And if this stuff interests you and you guys are interested in AMC or GME or these meme stocks, I really highly suggest you guys take a look at a few other channels that can explain some of the stuff a lot better than I can. Trace Trades, Max Maher does some stuff on AMC and GME. Andrew Mo Money, Jeffrey Forbes, Matt Kors with a K, not a C-O-O-R-S, but it's like K-O-H-R. Maher is M-A-H-E-R. Matt Maher and Matt Kors. Trace Trades, probably my favorite one, who actually inspired me to start this channel and start streaming. I'm a product of DL TechBud Solutions, Learn, Plan, Profit with Ricky Gutierrez. Highly suggest if you guys are interested in doing some day trades and some swing trades, Ricky Gutierrez and the Learn, Plan, Profit group really got me started and kind of gave me the knowledge to start swing trading and day trading. So it looks like we got above. You know, didn't quite close 2 candles above yet, so let's see if we can get a push up here, excuse me. See if we can get a push and ride that thing out and start testing, looking for the next level of resistance up here at about 1088 or 1091. So not quite hitting where we hit in the pre-market, which looks to be about 1065. But we're doing all right this morning, even with low volume here. So we did reach oversold there according to the RSI, and you see the sharp little pullback. Our exponential moving average line still above the other line here, and gosh, I always forget what this gold line is. But typically what I have come to find is that once the exponential moving average line crosses above the gold line here, you start to see it's more of a buyer's market and more buying is stepped in, and you can see a push up. So if you are trying to make that day trade or swing trade, you know, you can use these indicators to let you know. And again, once we reach oversold, you know, it's going to start kind of tapering down. It can trend upwards for quite a while after that, but typically you'll see once we reach oversold territory across the 70 line on the RSI, we'll start to kind of have a pullback. And usually what I look for, if I was going to day trade this or swing trade this, you got to look for, one, what its potential is. And if you saw in the pre-market, we hit, what did I say, 1064. So when we open and we had a pullback here, if we're going to use the pre-market, and I typically don't like to use that, but you can most certainly use that, is once you hit the pullback, you wait for consolidation and then a reversal. Signs reversal here, which for me is usually 2 candles closing higher than where our consolidation is, which was way down here. So pretty much right around this point here. You could even have waited into here to see if we're going to get this push and enter a position in somewhere around here. So you get filled there. And, you know, I look for 5% on my trades. If I'm doing a day trade, possibly just looking for about anything above 2.5%. Doesn't sound like much, but trust me, it adds up. If you guys are part of the Learn Plan Profit group, then you already know that with $1,000 you can turn into $10,000 at the end of the year if you successfully trade 3 trades per week, pretty much every single week, for that 2.34%. So that's why I call it, just go ahead and say 2.5. So if you're trading 2.5 and you're rolling those profits back in, and you're trading that 3 times a week, and you start your account with $1,000 and you make those successful 3 times a week trades, you can profit $10,000 at the end of the year. So we did close 2 above, so I'm looking now to see if we're going to get that run and kind of gap up, or if we're going to get rejected here. But looks like we did close a few above this 1050 mark, so I'm looking up for us to kind of start making a run here. However, we're reaching the top of the overbought territory here. Sorry, I don't know if I was calling this oversold. I'm exhausted. It's been a nice long weekend, enjoyable weekend. Definitely feel my energy levels down. I don't feel sleepy, but I can just feel a little sore from working out this weekend, a little tired, and looks like we are getting rejected here. So big sell-off here. Potentially this will set a stop loss for some people who are trying to day trade this. So a lot of times when you see a big run like this and then you see a massive sell-off, what's happening is the farther down it goes, people set their stop losses for probably about 1%, and they'll set a moving stop loss here. So you know, they want that 2.5 or 3% profit. Once it starts to run, they'll set a stop loss behind it, you know, maybe 1%. So once you start reaching, then they'll start to sell, and you'll typically see a lot more volume step in after a little push during that sell-off. Just people taking profits, you know, swing trading the same because of the volatility that's in the AMC. Whether you want to believe it or not, a lot of people are scalping, using AMC and GME as scalping opportunities, and probably making a ton of money doing so. We'll pull up the flex grid this morning and just see where we're set over here on GME. And does that look similar or what? So looks pretty similar to me. Although GME never reaching oversold territory, they typically have a lot less volume. Yeah, we're seeing all sub 100,000 in volume here. Closest they got was 95,000. But we're pushing 270, 180, 450, 400. So we're starting to see a little bit of increase in volume here. And we did not see a massive spike in volume there, so maybe not so many stop losses actually were set on that, but a nice little pullback is fine, and we'll show you why. Just click them all, dang it. We'll put up the Fibonacci and set down here. I don't know why it's being difficult this morning here. There we go. Set it there. I got to change the color for this. I like it in gold. Boom. A little easier to see, right? So at the bottom of our Fibonacci, where we started this little run to the top, you can see that our pullback was just about 38.2%. So this is healthy bullish momentum for the stock, and we will continue this trend upwards, I believe. Just a sign that we are in bullish territory on this position. So what you would do is you'd set kind of from where you start your run to the end of the run, and then you can see the pullback. Anything above 50% retracement is healthy bullish momentum. So I actually like that we stopped here at 32, and guys can see, I mean, this is almost to the T there. I mean, I guess you could probably move this stuff around also. I mean, even just starting where it's open and close, and then you can see still never reaching this 50% here. And I really wish that that I could leave this. Boom, there we go. Alright, so let's see if that worked. Looks like I'm not also teaching you guys about my journey of trading. I guess this is all encompassing, but how to maneuver around the Thinkorswim platform. If you guys don't know, this is what I'm using. I'm using Thinkorswim. It is a TD Ameritrade app. It's a free app. You can trade with paper money or a live trade here. It links to your TD Ameritrade account. I don't believe that it links to any other account because it's a TD Ameritrade product. So, and you can see we saw a little bit of consolidation. I'll get rid of this. So we saw our little pullback, consolidated just a little bit. We are starting to close above, so now I'm looking for another little run and push above. But remember, we are kind of at our level of resistance / support here at 1050. So it could run, or we could start trading sideways. Really anything goes, especially with the low volume we have. Last minute here was about 160,000. So once we get this push, once we get above this 1055 and we start trending upwards, then we have the next gap up to about 1088 or 1091. But I like that we're trading above 1050 for the moment. Should see something very similar over in GME, and yes we are. So it looks like they're going to ride this line here. These are lines we set last week at 185.56. They use those lines quite frequently. And those of you that are new to the Thinkorswim platform, or basically any trading platform, what you can do, let's say on Thinkorswim, I'm just pressing the mouse wheel in, and it pulls up my drawing tools, which also are over here, and you can kind of change these out. But you've got a price line level here, so what I'll do is I'll click that, and this is on the 1 day 1 minute chart. I like to use this a lot, just to kind of show every minute. There's a lot more going on. I mean, if you had to wait for 5-minute candles, yeah, it just feels like nothing's going on for like 5 minutes or so. I mean, you can't see some fluctuations in there, but I prefer the 1 day 1 minute. If I'm going to be doing some day trading and scalp opportunities, because you want to see every single incremental increase as it's happening live. And I just like to see this. So the 5-minute candle, you know, if you look at it macroscopically and kind of take a larger view out, as you will, you will probably see a lot more green. I mean, we're seeing a lot of green on the day here. Only a couple of red candles throughout the entire morning so far, and in 5 minutes, what I think that you'll see is you'll see a red candle here, you'll see a green candle, another green candle, maybe a red candle, and then we're on this other 5 minutes here. So going back to the price level, and I'll pull it up on the big chart for AMC here. Old levels of support become new levels of resistance, and vice versa. So where you'll see, right, we go back to last Friday, you can see we kind of touched off this line quite a few times here. So what I'm doing here, I have my price level set, and I'm going to kind of figure out where they touch multiple times, somewhere right around here, and I'm going to double left click, and that brings up the price level. Now we set that level at 1070. So didn't quite reach it in the morning, but you can kind of see we're trading within this range here, and we start to bounce off these lines. So you can kind of use that for your scalping opportunities to kind of know. Scalping is pretty much day trading. where you're taking a little bit off the top, right? As it's running up, take some profits, Buy on the dips, sell on the rips. However, for me, I'm just straight holding. Straight holding. And looks like we're just gonna trade within here. I'll probably leave that. I like to leave some of these price levels I have, just in case we kind of come back and touch off of them. Now it looks like I probably could move this level here. We're kind of in the middle, but I like it. It's a whole round number there at 1050. So I'm just going to leave it and kind of see that that's where we're trading in the middle of. I mean, it's kind of hard to pick where I think a level of support may actually be. Maybe at 1048 right here. And I want to say that I have had 1048 set in the past, but we're kind of choppy right now. Just trading really within a parameter here. So I guess if you wanted to, you could take that 1060 or so all the way down here to about 1038 and kind of say that's our range of trading for right now. And once we break above that, then we can see a gap up to the next level, where I personally think that it could be 1070. However, that was on the way down. And we actually did use that as some levels of resistance. So it looks like we traded it 1, 2, 3 times before getting rejected. So I think it is a strong level of resistance here. That was for last Friday, so we will see if we get to test it this morning, or if it's going to make its way till the afternoon. And I'll take this time here. We'll talk about my options call. June 18th, $40 strike price on AMC. Currently sitting at about $65, so roughly down about $100 on this option. However, we have a very long time before the real theta decay kicks in. The closer you get to expiration, the more theta decay kicks in. And basically what it does is the closer you get to expiring on the contract, you lose money as minutes go on, the closer you get to expiration. And the closer you get to expiration, the more you start to lose. So that's just like the layman's terms of theta decay. They're a whole Greek, they call them the Greeks, that you guys can go check out. The gamma, delta, theta, I know I'm missing a few others, the vega, and each one does a little bit of different things. I'm not a highly skilled options trader. If you've been watching this channel, then you already know the first 2 times I've traded options are the only times I've ever taken a loss on any position in over 3 years. So the riskiest play for me, and the first time I've taken losses. So right about $300 something. It was money that I was willing to lose and gamble on AMC running up. I mean, we ran for like 4 weeks in a row, ending each Friday a little bit higher, except for 2 weeks where we traded kind of sideways. And then we started to see those $11 and $14, $13, all that kind of stuff closes. And then I'm thinking we're going to 16. When we actually hit the 14, I had a $14 call a few weeks ago. We closed just underneath that, but at one point during the week we ran up to 14.50, and I was green on the contract. That was on a Wednesday, and I've learned. I use that as a learning experience. If you're in the money and you are in profit, take profits. Go ahead and close that contract out. If it's Tuesday, Wednesday, because the closer you get to expiration date, the less valuable that contract is going to become, unless the price just keeps skyrocketing up. And honestly, I thought, we saw a big jump in price, so I'm like, hey, this is where it starts. We're going, this is it. We're about to ride this thing up. So I held on to it, end up taking a loss. I think I made like a couple cents out of it, nothing major, like 50-60 cents. And then the next week, I thought we were just in a little bit of pullback, so I set it at options more out of the money, because a little bit cheaper. And yeah, kind of the same deal. Actually never saw any profit on that one whatsoever. Just took like $160 loss, maybe. I can't remember what it was. So there were 4 options contracts between the two calls that I made. And looks like we're running here on AMC. So we saw that push above. We used this level of support here at 1050 and just got a nice little springboard action and pushed up. So if you guys were in this for a swing trade or a little day trade, again, what we're looking for is a pullback, consolidation, and signs of reversal here. Let's say you even got filled right here, and there's 3.58. So, you know, if you wanted your 5% and you think this thing's going to run to 5%, you can set it up here to limit order you out, and that's about 1084. So, or, you know, like I said, if I'm doing scalping or day trade, quick in and out, especially something with very low volume, that's the other thing too. You really got to take into consideration compared to, you know, what we would like to see on AMC. You know, we want to see in the millions or close to a million per minute in volume, and we're, you know, highest here was about 457,000. So, you know, we're about half that. So we really want to see some more volume kick in. And as you can see, it looks like we were getting rejected by this price level we just set a few moments ago at 1070. Remembering that old levels of resistance remain and can become new levels of support. So we set that about 1070. So, you know, it's not going to be the most accurate. Sometimes you'll see a bounce, I mean, right off of it, dead even with where it was. And sometimes you just kind of go up and touch and then kind of pull back a little bit. So we are setting, you know, higher highs, kind of, you know, a little bit lower there. So this is a nice little W, ascending W setup here. So as you guys can kind of see there, there's the pullback, kind of go back up. You know, not the most picture perfect W, but I can surely see it. And looking for this to pull back a little bit more and maybe continue on upwards. Slowly starting to wake up this morning, but I'm up nonetheless. All right, so we got a little bit of a pullback here. So this is really kind of a bullish formation or signal that you're going to see, and with the W here, you see we hit the kind of bounce off the same line a few times. So 1, 2, 3. On the third one, look for a little bit of pullback and then continue upwards when that's actually what we saw or are starting to see. So we're making a test now to gap up here. I think the next big level of resistance, if we go back, I'm still thinking it's about this 1090 over here. Oops, sorry, that's way up there, 1094. Currently sitting at about 1068, so we did break below the 1070 mark. So maybe a little bit too soon here. Currently setting just below, but we are now trading on this about 1070. That's 10. Yeah, it is 1070. Okay. So we might actually close above that here. Looking like a few more seconds. I'd have to move the camera. It's like right over my stopwatch on my clock. And here we go. So making a nice little run here. I'll pull up the flex grid so we can take a look at GME and see what they're doing. And not quite the same chart setup here. Let me just pull that in, pull this in. I like that a little bit better. Yeah, so GME not really testing their support or resistance up here at 194. And AMC, we closed one above. See when we close the second candle above this 1070, or if we get rejected and push back down. If we do start to close above 2 candles or so, then I think we're going to continue this trend on upwards and run up to try to test 1090. So quite impressive for the amount of volume that we actually see in AMC right now. Not really too much volume, to tell you the truth here. compared to where we have seen this, you know, even going back to last Friday, where we have a candle, a 1 minute candle that's at 1.1 or 1.2 million in volume. So not too much on the volume here. And GME just kind of not doing the same here. We're starting to break away from them. I mean, earlier on in the morning, you know, you can see here we kind of traded almost the same, consolidated a little bit up, unless we have yet to make this downward pattern. Sometimes they make their runs a little bit before we do, and maybe what we'll see is this pullback as well, and a little bit of consolidation here. So I'll pull up just AMC. I do not currently hold a position in GME. Man, this is a very nice little run up here. And I swear, the more that you look at it, you can see the ascending W. So looks like we topped out right about 1077 or so, where we touched. So I can probably, once this thing cleans up a little bit and we consolidate a little bit more, I will clean up some of these levels of support and resistance here. I like to keep them around because if we go up and we start to come back down, I'll know which levels to look forward to, because, you know, like when I just showed you guys how to set this level of this price level, it stays. So if you go right mouse wheel in, you got a price level, you can just double click anywhere. And if we just double click there, so it goes from that moment on throughout, you know, until you remove it or move it. So little tight window here. Looks like some stop losses being set. That's what I would say, or just some scalpers taking some profits here. Big sell coming down, and probably going to test right here about 1060 or so, if I were to guess, before we see a little bit of a pullback upwards. Again, that's just my guess. Could even drop lower to down here where we saw the top of this W kind of forming, and we'll set it there just to see. And what I'll do here, I'll go ahead and get rid of this. We set this one this morning, this 1070. Kind of get it cleaner within there. So not bad. A little bit of a pullback and sell off here, but you know, that's healthy. You've got to start to see some pullback. Healthy bullish momentum will have healthy pullbacks. So that's really what you want to see, right? And if we go here, again, this is mouse wheel in to pull up your drawing tools on the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. And we look right here, this little percentage sign here. This is the Fibonacci retracement. This is how you can determine a good healthy pullback, right? So I won't even go to the very bottom of the candle here. I'll just go kind of where we closed at. Click the mouse wheel in, pull to the top, and I won't even go to the top of the candle. Just go back there, and boom, there you go. You guys can see in gold here. On a bullish sentiment, as I would say, I guess, or in bullish momentum, what you want to see with a healthy pullback is anything up to about 50%, right? So I guess you could kind of take this and say, okay, here's the pullback. So even if I were to remove this, and I think we did this one this morning already, go back, pull this up there, top of there, you can see we just pulled slightly below this 38.2, signaling some healthy bullish momentum in the stock here, as indicated by the buying power in the MACD and the RSI indicators. But if we were to set that all the way down to here, I mean, realistically, we could have a massive pullback. And maybe this is not the right way to use this indicator. You guys let me know. That's kind of the way that I look at it. It makes me feel a little bit better. I guess even if we just say, like, for each run up here, and we just set that right there. As you can see there, just touching off this 38.2. So even on this little mini run up, if you just take them, you know, each one individually for a little run up, pull back, run up, pull back, run up, pull back, and you know, a little bit of consolidation right now. So still in healthy bullish territory. Just kind of touching the top of oversold here. Actually fairly good here that we actually did not reach oversold, or I'm sorry, overbought. I'm gonna have to make another cup of coffee this morning here to really wake up. I slept so good last night. I even went to sleep a little bit early. But for whatever reason, sometimes the more you sleep, like the tireder you are, or the more tired you are the next day. I don't know why it is. While this is doing its little pullback here, I'll leave the Fibonacci here, and we'll set it down there, all the way to the peak there. I'll leave that on there, and we'll take a look over at some of our other positions here. So AMTX, as you guys know, if you watch the channel, we entered 2 positions long last week at 2670. Currently setting at about 22.85, 88, 95, 22.95. So yes, we are holding the bag. However, if you take a macro look out at the 180, you guys see that we are making a huge, massive run up. We've already done the Fibonacci retracements on this quite a few times, so you can see we had some, depending on where you take it at, some healthy pullbacks. And even on this one, maybe some not so healthy pullback, but I think we are still in bullish territory for this position overall. I think we will continue on. Right now we're going through a little bit of a consolidation period, and I think we'll run up and test. This is an all-time high here at 27.44, which we hit last week. I believe that was Wednesday or Thursday. That's kind of why we entered the position. We keep seeing higher highs, and I think this will continue to run up. Now, there's a big possibility that it could go down. There wasn't really any news to attribute it why this is pushing up the way it is. It's probably just earnings. So that's where we sit there. This was just kind of testing the swing trade, day trade, scalp opportunities here. So we thought we might be able to scalp it. However, once it started to pull down, I do not like to set stop losses, and I'll give you 2 reasons for that. One, I don't like to lose money. I really hate to lose money. I'm not in this to lose money. Now, excuse me. The other one is, and I don't think that this is really indicative of what TD Ameritrade does. I really trust TD Ameritrade as a company. Never had any issues with TD Ameritrade or Thinkorswim in the years that I've been using this. However, I know with Robinhood, right, there's a good, who does this? Is it Matt Kohrs, I think? Kohers. Kohrs, not Coors. He had a video he put out over the weekend that I briefly looked into. And I think it was pretty sure it was Matt Kohrs. It could have been Andrew Momoney, whatever. Between the group of Andrew and Matt and Jeff Forbes and Trace Trades, there's a lot of information, and sometimes they kind of circle around and have the same information but a different perspective on it. So I like to kind of get all of those perspectives. However, in this video, he, whoever it was, talks about Citadel being invested into Robinhood. And what they do, and I've heard this before, this has come up on Andrew Momoney's channel quite a few times, I believe, is that they allow, and in the fine terms, like the little small print, the terms and agreement, what they're doing basically with Robinhood is they're selling your information to Citadel. That's my understanding of it. And so Citadel can see your stop losses, and they can see, when they're set, and they can kind of drive them down and trigger those stop losses. So if they have everybody on Robinhood, and they have all the information, and they have these massive supercomputers that can do algorithm to say, all right, the most amount of stop losses is set right here. If we can short this thing down, we can drive the price down and trigger all those stop losses. So I don't really like to set stop losses. I do like to set limit orders because, after hours, or you're looking away, you're doing something, you could have a little run up and sell off and drop back down, and you could have made your profit right then. So positions that I'm looking to exit and just kind of swing trade, I will set a limit order. So I don't even have to worry about this whenever, and I've got it set for good till close, and extended hours. So whenever this thing hits over the next few months, if it hits, we'll lose close those positions out. The same thing with Harley Davidson, and this is why I like to set the limit orders. I really am undecided on exiting this position with Harley. However, I think it is probably a good time to reestablish myself within the company if I do want to stay in it for the long term, because I think there's more of a bargain than where I'm entered currently. I bought these positions a long time ago. if you guys can see here, I'm 42 long at 40.02, and I've been in this position for years. They had a very good dividend plan. I was in it for the dividend plan. Plus, I say very good. It was a decent dividend, not really compared to the price, but they had a dividend, and I really love the company. I've owned multiple Harley Davidson motorcycles. Currently own one now. I love everything about Harley. I like what they're doing, and if you guys saw my background, you see that it's the new Harley Davidson Pan America that's coming out. They have the EV bikes, the Livewire, the mountain bikes, the kids bikes. Harley Davidson has like a 10-year plan, I believe. It was 5 or 10 with electronic vehicles and new vehicles they're rolling out. And I know they got hindered a little bit by the pandemic, but I do believe them as a company. However, I think with where I was at before, I think I'm just not at a very good price. And I've never really taken time to average my position down and just kind of held firm with where it was at and left it alone. So I may just reestablish myself in the position instead of adding to the position, because right now most of my capital is tied up in AMC and AT&T for different reasons, each of those. Um, you know, setting at where I'm at, $40, and I think I probably did average down some at some point. But setting at $40, I think there are better price points to enter, right? I could look at this pullback here. I mean, all the way down to $31. So if I can take my profit and then wait maybe a few weeks or something to come out. A lot of news on Harley all the time. Plants shutting down or opening new plants or earnings. And you got to understand with motorcycles is there is a season for buying a motorcycle for most of the states. I know I live down south and I can ride all year round. That's not the case for most places. So sales do tend to taper off in the fall, and you will see that reflected in their like Q4 financials. So it could be a good time to buy. So what I'm thinking about doing is taking my whatever percentage rate that I have here. I've got it set for $42, so I think that's 5%. Let me pull up a little calculator here. And we'll just say $40. Yeah, so roughly 5% there. Probably could have done that without a calculator, but yeah, whatever. Take my 5% and exit my position. Maybe actually set it a little bit higher. Seems that we have hit this 43, 47 or so, 43. So I might be able to actually get probably about 7.5% out of this. And just keep that money on the back burner and wait for a better time to reinvest in the company when I see a nice pullback. Moving on to Rocket. You guys know we're back holders over here. Actually looking pretty dang good this morning. Up $3 from previous close, it looks like. And let me zoom in here. Yeah. All right. So reached the high. Man, if you guys were in this for a swing trade from Friday, massive here. I'm in it for just a little bit more, so I don't know if we'll quite make it up there. Only two positions at 29.65. This is just me messing around, right? So my big money goes into stuff that I hold longer term. I have scalped and day traded some stuff with a few $1,000s. Makes me really nervous, and until I can feel comfortable getting the emotions out of it, I don't think that I will do that. I will just long-term swing trade and practice with smaller amounts of money to feel more confident in the future that I can swing trade something or day trade something or scalp something and not be left holding the bag. So we'll take a look at the news and see if they have anything. And nothing other than like some Wall Street bets type stuff. So might have hit the high already there at 27.42 or 44. Got the limit order set up here at 30.54. I believe that is my 5%. I'm almost certain that that's my 5%. So Again, that's what I like to take. I like to take the 5% profit if I'm doing a swing trade or a scalp. Um, well, maybe on a scalp, like I said earlier, 2.5% I'm fine with. Um, for me, profit is profit. 2.5% is good, even if it's on, it's a small amount. 2% or 2.5 is 2.5, right? And to get 2.5% back on ROI on your investment, even though there are some capital gains tax, you're still doing a lot better than what you get in a savings account. 5% is generally what I look for on a swing trade, even a long-term swing trade. When I'm still going to take profits, I'm not looking for anything less than 5%, and most of the time I'm looking for even more. When I exited my position with Ford, I think it was at 23.5%, somewhere around there, 23, 24. MMLP, this gas pipeline company, I think I exited there about 12.5. A few other things, 5 to 10 is a good number, and if you see it rise up and you have seen it there before, then you can definitely make some money. Sensonics looks like we're down a little bit on the day. A lot of volume here for them. 211,000 comparatively to the rest of the day. So currently sitting about 262. I think I'm in this for 375, 88 long, 87 long at 375. So this is a long-term swing trade for me. And if you guys don't know what Sensonics is, they are a CGM, continuous glucose monitoring company for diabetics. They have a few products in the works, waiting on FDA approval, and some just got it for a 60, 180, or it's a 90, 180, and a 360 continuous glucose monitoring system that will link to your smartphone or your smartwatch and basically monitor your glucose levels, which I think their closest competitors like a 3-day monitoring system. So the fact that they have like a 90, 180, and a 365 day one that is still in the works, waiting on approval, is going to be massive. It's going to be a game changer for the diabetic community. I know I have diabetics in my family. My father was diabetic, so just the days of pricking your finger, that's long gone. So I think this company is going to be good for the future. So long-term holding it, not a lot. Again, most of my positions are tied up between AT&T and AMC. AT&T is just like my foundation right now. They have a very good dividend plan, 7.23% dividend per year, or dividend yield. And looks like we're a little bit down. Looks like up 1 cent or so. Nothing too crazy. I think I'm up overall in this position here. Yeah, up overall about $144 profit, up $1 on the day. So 108 long. My portfolio is not very large within just this trading. I have another account, brokerage account, that I don't really talk about too often. It's not anywhere near as large as this one. This is my main brokerage account here. Excuse me. So let's zoom back in on AMC, see how we're doing right now. It looks like we're starting to consolidate, and it looks like a possible another W forming here. Maybe not the same. Yeah, it doesn't look like we are touching anything, so probably not a W. You see this one actually really perfectly here. Just boom, boom, and it's an ascending W, and we start to pull up. So like to see that. On the where did I have this run up? All the way down here? We'll get rid of that there. I don't think that that's really accurate. Fibonacci, remove Fibonacci. There you go. So it looks like we did find some support here off this like 1060 mark, 1059, whatever it may be. And we'll probably just trade there for a little bit, since we do have low volume on the day. We'll go take a look at some of our other, well, I'll pull up FlexGrid so you guys can see GME, just see how it's doing, kind of just consolidating around this 185 mark here, 186. So it's good, right? We're not going down. So I'm currently happy with where we sit. I'd like to finish the day above 1050. Preferably, I would like to see us above 11 or plus, but 1050 I'm fine with. And let's go look at the watch list here. So Fisker is one that we talk about quite often on this channel. FSR, they are an EV company with an SUV coming out, the Fisker Ocean, releasing for 2022 model year. So that could be at the end of this year, or could wait until next year. The XRAM says, any huge percentage changes in the market today? Let me check. Take a look at the SPY or S&P 500. So nothing too major here. It looks like we traded up just a little bit and kind of sideways now, a little bit down. So kind of setting where we were at pre-market. So nothing major in the market right now. However, I think that this week, and I referred to a Jeffrey Forbes video earlier about some hedge fund being in some trouble, and that possibly meaning something big for AMC in the coming weeks, leading to our squeeze. He also spoke about the shipping vessel that is stuck in the, I want to say Suarez. I keep thinking of like Luis Suarez, the biting soccer player, but is it Suez? I'll just call it Suarez for now, right? The Suarez Canal. With the barge being stuck there, or the shipping vessel being stuck there, he thinks that there's going to be a lot of volatility in the market, and we're going to see some stuff go a little crazy. I mean, you're going to see some effects of this. And I was trying to do some research on this last night. Now, you have that, right? And they said that only accounts for like 10% of the world's shipping lane. However, if you were to Google any sort of news, right, on, yeah, let's just type in shipping vessels backlog, right? You're going to see a ton of news. All right, looks like here we go. Breaking news here. Giant ship finally freed, allowing canal to reopen. The Suez update. This was from 12 minutes ago on Bloomberg via Yahoo. 5 minutes ago. So 33 minutes ago. Looks like Reuters reported this 33 minutes ago. Partially dislodged 9 hours ago. So it looks like they've been working on this thing night and day. Finally got it out, but the backlog says it needed 3.5 days, right? So this is all going to be for this one vessel. But this is really what I'm looking at here. And check that down. This March 29th, 2021. Record vessel backlog at Southern California ports. And I think I'd seen something, there was somebody posted a picture on Reddit in the conspiracy page. And it talked about how far, oh, there it is right there, how far they're backed up all the way to Huntington Beach, right? From the ports all the way down. You can see the vessels are just lined up out here. I think that this is also going to cause some volatility in the markets here. I mean, if you've got these vessels that are really backlogged here, we'll read through some of this. See if I can pull out anything that looks notable. Just to see where they would typically be at. With more container ships arriving daily, the backlog at the Southern California ports has grown to record levels. For the first time in 17 years, ships are being held in drift positions along outside the anchorage in San Pedro Bay, with predictions that the congestion will continue at these levels at least until mid to late February. The Marine Exchange of Southern California, a 90-plus-year-old nonprofit organization that oversees the flow of maritime commerce throughout the region, reported on Wednesday, January 27th. And this is an article from January 29th. Why? So it looks like they are going back to this. Well, I'll just continue reading this here. And maybe this will update itself at some point here. Where was I at here? All right. Okay, so this is January 27th. That San Pedro Port Complex had set a new record with 55 ships at anchor. That topped the previous high by 3 vessels, but the record would only last 4 hours. 5 additional ships entered the anchorage on 28th, raising to record 60 vessels, right? So it looks like 60 was set back in January 28th. See if I can read down here. As of January 28th, there were 110 ships in port. Let's see if there's anything else here. So, don't know why this is an article now, but it's referring back to a January 29th article. But maybe this is just the date, so I wish that it would be more clear. And maybe what I need to do is just Google search here. More than likely, most of this stuff is going to be kind of the same. I don't know what the heck I just clicked on there. So that's March 15th. So I mean, basically what I'm getting at is that throughout the entire year of 2021, California's had a huge backlog, like setting all-time highs for the amount of ships that they have backed up. However, I still think, if I could find it here, that there are even more than what it was before. So I think you're going to start seeing some of that. If we haven't seen it already, I'm sure that we have. But adding the Suez Canal backlog and then this backlog, I think you're going to see some volatility there in a few positions. Quite a few positions, actually. So looks like, according to this, somebody was covering their shorts. So 3.4 million. Borrow rate fee went down from 2.8 to 2.65 today already. Again, this is from FINRA, and that's updated 8 minutes ago or so, and we don't really trust that, but it's some information. So to answer your question, XRAM, market's kind of solid right now, just kind of trading sideways here for the S&P 500. We'll take a look at TCAT. TCAT is an ETF play. I'm sorry, NFT play, not ETF. The SPY is an ETF. TCAT is an non-fungible token. Currently trading at about 35.78, low of 35.25 on the day. Quite a bit down from yesterday's high. So I think we might see some leveling out here. If we look at a 10-day, yeah, it looks like we're starting to consolidate here. Could possibly drop it even lower. I mean, just think this is 10 days, right? We're at 390, all up to 74. I'm going to, I'll leave those here just so that we know like where our chance of run up is. Carnival Cruise Lines. So we will first check the news. And there's an article, is now time to buy stock in Boeing, Pfizer, Tesla, GE, or Carnival. Boom, I like this, man. I really like Governor Ron DeSantis here in Florida. He calls on CDC to rescind the no-sell order. As you guys may know, going back last week, I think it was last week, could have even been the week before, where the CDC said that they were going to extend the no-sell order up until November, which is a huge blow to the recreational cruise lines. And what we see was a big sell-off, but then we saw a nice little push after that news was announced here. So you see when they announced it, we kind of sold down, and then people bought it up. And now we're kind of consolidating, just kind of waiting on word of what happened. So some people got in late, and it continued to drive the price up, and then like, oh, I, probably should get out. And so anyhow, currently where we sit, looks like we're trading sideways for a little bit. I don't think it would be bad to enter position in Carnival Cruise Lines. We talked about this before. However, I'm not saying yes. What you want to see here is on the 3-year, right? So if we take the worst point that they had up before the pandemic, and we know that it shut a lot of stuff down, is I'm using this as a baseline here of $39, almost $40, right? Currently we set right here. If we just get a percentage from here, you're looking at 54%. That's getting us back to where we were trading at before the pandemic. So if all goes well and we open up, you're looking at a 50% profit. Now, it could take quite some time, but I expect to see a huge spike and rise in the share price once they announce that cruise lines can set sail again. So I think that it will get announced. I think CDC will rescind on their ruling or the decision. I don't say their ruling because they're not a court of anything. And I'm guessing Carnival's just going to set that. I don't really know how all that works, why they're not able to. I mean, CDC has no ruling opinion over cruise lines. But I do expect to see that at bare minimum here, BEAR, like a bear, bare minimum. You know what? I'm going to start using that bare minimum, right? So that's basically the bottom line, right? It's the bullish bare minimum, right? And then bull maximum. We've got bull maximum and bare minimum. The bare minimum line would be right here at 54%. However, if we were going to go to the bull maximum here, I think that there's potential there for 157% profit. So that's why we were watching CCL, Carnival Cruise Lines, on the old ticker setup. CNK is Cinemark Holdings Incorporated. I think you guys know what Cinemark is. Yeah, I talk about Cinemark. However, AMC is my girl. But there's potential here for Cinemark as well. We're here to make money. So we'll just take a quick little peek here. I mean, we're down about 6.5% or so. I mean, there's profit there if we can see us touch off this line here again. Even on the bare minimum line, we've got 62%. That's trading before pandemic. So bare minimum 62%, and bull maximum looking like 125% or so, 120%. What did I set SR for? EEIQ. Actually, let's take. Oh, this is Corsair Gaming. Okay, EEIQ. Let's take a look over at EEIQ, which we looked at last week. They had a massive run up. Were halted quite a few times. You can see here they opened the IPO a few days ago, some point last week, I believe. Massive run up to $70. Now they are trading where they should be, right? So I actually think that we were going to talk about Roblox at some point in the past, and we just never made it there. So not really, I don't have a position here. Just watched it because we scanned it. I actually don't even keep it on the watch list, and there's probably a few things I should take off. Oh, and FSR looking really good for a buy right now. So I think we had talked about this before. I think anything between this $15 and $16 range is a good buy for FSR. I have to go all the way back before they had their run up, so I've got to go back to the 180-day rate. So I thought I had an alert set, but I guess we already hit one alert. Anywhere between this $15 range here, $14.68, all the way up to $16, $17, somewhere in there I think is a good range to buy. I think that's where we traded at before we saw this news. I think that they could potentially, this is a very long-term play. I don't currently hold a position here. I'm waiting to see us get back into this range here. Possibly even make a dive like this low of 870 back in October. But with the Fisker Ocean being released, and we saw it with Tesla, it took them a very long time to become profitable, and I think it could take Fisker a very long time to become profitable as well. I pretty much show this every single time I hop on stream. the Fisker Ocean so you guys can see what we're talking about here, just so you can put a visual on the product that they sell. It's an EV SUV with they're saying the all-wheel drive is going to have over 300 horsepower. They're talking about a heads-up display on the dash, on the windscreen shield actually. So a couple of new things of technology, new articles of technology that they're talking about releasing into this vehicle. But I think it's a good-looking SUV for an EV here. I think it's kind of a mix between like a Range Rover and a Kia Telluride of some sort. So I think it looks pretty good. Although this looks like it's a rendering here, but I think it's a good-looking vehicle, and I think they actually are currently taking reservations for this. I think it's cost like a couple $100 to reserve. And if we just let me just go back and web right there. Come on. So and the I always forget about this because I used to don't concern myself with price too much unless it's something I can't afford. It's under $40,000. So that is a huge deal for this vehicle. I mean, good looking vehicle, all-wheel drive, 300 plus horsepower. The range is not bad. Actually, the range I want to say was over 300 miles. You can reserve it for $250. Even use Apple Pay. Look at that. And so for the lease, we talked about the lease I think last week at some point. Looks like it's 30,000 mile 1 year lease, or at least 30,000 miles per year, and they give you free maintenance and inspections. Let me just go over here to reserve and see if it says something about. Are they even going to talk about it? What is he rolling around in? Dang it! Stop. Hendrick. And I really don't know what these are, but I think it looks pretty cool. Kind of like Tron. Here's some more photos of the vehicle here. I think it's a really nice vehicle. I like it a lot. I may end up getting one. I don't know. We'll see. Under 40,000. Can get a lease. 30,000 miles in the year, I think is what the lease was. Let me go over here to reserve. Man, why did they not tell you the information on it? This is an article from Edmunds. 40,000. I think they talk about touchscreen of 9.8 inches, 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds, 300 horsepower, and I thought they had a range on here. Range is like the biggest thing for EVs. Anyhow, back to the stocks. So we always just take a look to see where Fisker's at. Not quite a head and shoulders pattern here. You know, you got the head, shoulder, shoulder. However, it's like not really a head and shoulders at all. But anyhow, I'm learning my technical analysis. So, you know, trying to look at charts and see what I think there could be within the chart, right? And don't know if this is a bear trap here, but oh man, come on. Why'd you do that to me? Look, I drew a pyramid. Sorry, I know that's not really anything. Just messing around here. No, not duplicate. Remove. Remove. Both. All right. Sundial, just for those of you who are interested, I am a bag holder over in Sundial, SNDL. I'm down about $1 per position. I think I hold like 180 something positions maybe. So at 213, it's at 113 now. Looks like I'll be holding this thing for quite some time. I will have to probably average down, wait for some kind of little bump, and then sell. But for now, that's at least my strategy. I'm gonna hold. I will probably let this get a little bit lower. Um, Throw some dry powder over there. Average my position down even a little bit more, and then hopefully we can get a nice little push up to like close to $2, maybe 170, 160 if I can average down below that. Make a little bit of profit and exit that position. So there is hope if you guys are bag holders on any position. As long as the company doesn't go bankrupt and it doesn't just keep tapering off, you're always going to have some form of news, even if you're on a downward trend. So you see right here where we're at, right? Now if you get in back here at 92 cents and you're like, man, holding the bag because you started to go down, you see there's a little bump there, right? Not quite at 79, but you go down, keep trending down. You can take this time to average your position, and then boom, they get a little spike in volume here, and bam, there you go. You made your money back. If you kept averaging down, right, to this low of 14 cents, you probably thought here at 90 cents, like, oh my God, down to 14. This thing is done. But anyhow, we don't trade sub $1 positions on this channel. I need to exit this, and really hate to take the loss, but I think we're holding strong above $1, so I'll be okay for a while. I am going to go back to AMC and see where we stand. I'll leave it here for a few moments while I take a brief intermission. And looks like we broke below our levels of support, so not too good, but kind of typical with AMC of what we've been seeing the last 5 or 6 days or week. Just when we start to get a little run, we kind of almost sell all of that down. So starting to consolidate down here at 1034. Still better than where we opened or where we closed at last week. And looks like we're probably a little bit better than where we opened at. So just about the same. Not too mad. We closed somewhere about 1024, I think is where we closed. So just a little bit, yeah. So said we're up 9 cents. So yeah, closed at 1024 on Friday, and we are currently setting about 10 cents above that right now. So leave you guys over here on the shoot, what am I doing? Over here on AMC, just so you can take a look, and I will be back in just a few moments.
Mic off. Mic on.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about the absence. Just had to get some more coffee, take a restroom break. While I was doing that, I was actually thinking about something that me and the X-Ran were talking about last summer during all the riots when all these windows were getting broken out. There's a little bit of research here for the largest manufacturer of commercial glass, and see if we can find any correlation. Fireglass, American Glass Research, commercial glass suppliers. So I had this issue. We were looking for this, and I didn't really find anything. Gentex Core. So let's see if they actually are traded publicly. Matter of fact, let's pull up this, and let's pull up Gentex. See if they have a ticker. 3547. Looks like the ticker is GNTX. So let's go back over here, and let's see if we can find a correlation between what happened last summer. We'll pull up the 1 year, 1 day chart. This is all the way back in April, so you do see a rise in price here. This is in the summertime here, all the way back. I think the riots started, man, it was like a year ago, right? In May at some point. So May to June, you know, actually, let's see what they ran up. And I don't know if this is directly associated, but if you bought somewhere in here, to their high, 40%. So I don't know. It's good to you know, to watch the world news, watch the U.S. news, just for everything that's going on in the country, and see what you can take out of it as a possible you know, swing trade. Yeah, this was a bit of a long-term swing trade here. We hit that high back in January. Could have had a nice little bump due to some earnings or something, who knows, but definitely potential there. So wish I would have found that as easily as I just did over the summer when we actually talked about it. But yeah, we rode our motorcycles. We were up in Connecticut. We rode our bikes over to Boston, and there were still protests going on. Very peaceful at the time, but all the windows were still boarded up. There was still glass on the ground. I mean, looked like a, you know, what you could imagine a war zone to possibly look like, or something you see after a hurricane. I don't know. Streets were kind of clean, but yet glass on the ground on the sidewalks. All the windows were busted out. Everything was boarded up. Lots of glass missing. So we kind of talked, and we thought, man, you know what? I bet that, you know, commercial glass is going to increase. This is just one company here. We can go back and try to find another company and just see what else. So looks like that's out of Michigan. There's Ohio. Let's find any closer to the East Coast here. Moraine, Ohio, Pella. So let's look at these two. Fuyo, what? And see if they have. Let's type Pella easily first. Core ticker. See if anything comes up. Pella windows and doors. It's on the stock market watch here. Is there anything? It's not a valid symbol. All right. So that's Pella. Funyayo, is that how to say it? Yep, Fu. There's no N. Fuyo Glass Industry. What is their ticker here? Fuyayo. Man, am I still just that tired that I can't see their ticker? This is doesn't look like group or shares A. These are A shares, okay. Not quite what I typed in here. So possibly because this is a Chinese company and then they are not traded here in the US, I guess. So let's take a look at another one. It's automotive. Safe Light. I mean, I guess we can look at Safe Light. Hate all these pop-ups. Well, this is no help. I feel like this is the one we already saw. All right, what's another one then? Gallo Glasgow, that's out of California. I doubt this one. They only have 1,000 employees. I would imagine that some of these smaller companies are not publicly traded. Colby and ColbyMillwork.co. We'll check this last one. Just to see if they have come on, man. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm done with that. I hate. It's like commercials. I hate commercials. Big reason why I don't watch TV. At least like cable television. So, I'm sure if you did more research, you could see probably a correlation where after there, when that the price just it kept going up. So, and this could be other things, but this is just my guess. That you could see effects of that, and when we talked about these shipping containers this morning, that's kind of where I was hinting at that. This is that's world news, that there's going to be commodities and other things that you're going to see some big price swings that are attributed to that Suez Canal blockage and the backlog in the ports of Southern California. So, we're kind of trading sideways a little bit, just kind of floating around. We did get a nice little spike this early this morning, little run up here. Now we've kind of pulled back and lost all those gains. So, we'll see what we do this afternoon. Volume's very low on AMC, and I think we talk about this quite frequently. Yeah, looks like GME's trading sideways as well. When we compare the volume of AMC and GME, the one thing you have to remember is that the shares outstanding here. Let's go AMC. It's about 450 million, I believe. Oh, what did I just type? They are, I think it's 450 million. Yeah, their total shares outstanding is 450 million. Market cap of 4.6 million. So 450 million shares, whereas GME is a lot lower. Their total shares outstanding are 70 million, just about under 70 million. So that's typically, if I don't really want to do the math, but if you were to take, here, we can do it real quick. So it's about 6.5, right? So 182. All right, and what I'm trying to get at here is if you were to take GME and their total shares outstanding 70 million, and you, let's say you want to bring it up to AMC, and let's see, with AMC we have 450 million, and we'll divide that by 70 million, the amount of GME, and we're roughly about 6.42. So what we'll do is call it 6.5 or 6.42, and we'll take the current price of the share right now, $181, divide by 4, or sorry, it was 6.42, and you get about $28, right? So if it had the same shares outstanding as AMC, you would look at a stock price of about $28. So I know we're talking about volume, and then you've got to understand the same thing here. Their volume, if you were to take the percentage, it's different. So let me pull up FINRA or Fintel and see. So market volume of 84.6 million, right? So let me type in GME. Oh gosh, let me just type here GME Fintel short, see if that pulls anything up. Here we go. So their volume is 34 million, right? So that's how much was traded in the day. Short borrow fee rate, very low. Short volume ratio up there, and their short shares availability is actually quite low as well. So still heavily shorted on this position are most of the hedgies. But what I'm getting at is that you can see there's still a short volume ratio of 27%. There's being shorted, and if you look at volume versus what we see on AMC, you're going to see it's very comparative to each other. Yeah, you may look and let's go back 2 minutes ago, and you see that the volume on 68,000 is not very good. Actually, that's very low. And they're looking at 32,000 for GME. So I think that they're very comparative, but yeah, the reason, you've really got to analyze each position or stock and figure out what is typical volume for them, and then learn when they're trading in higher volume, right? So what I've noticed, and you can do this by just going back and seeing what, just kind of look at the bigger numbers. What are the higher amounts of volume? 387, 419, 500. And what I'll tell you guys is really, when this thing's got volume in it, it's getting close to that million mark, if not over a million and where GME may be a lot different. So you have to really evaluate each stock differently to figure out what is high volume for that stock. So I guess what we can do now, while this thing is playing out, we've been streaming for about 1 hour and 41 minutes now. We can go scan, and these are the parameters that I like to keep here. Stocks between $5 and $30, volume between 500,000 and 200 million, and then a percentage change from 0 to 1,000%. And just to see, we might actually could probably lower this, and let's just call it 350, and let's scan and see what comes up. So EEIQ actually up a little bit here. Top one up 48% from where they closed at. And man, I swear we just looked at EEIQ, which is a Chinese education company. Where did they close? So they closed about $15. So yeah, not bad. Looks like they're sitting up a little bit. Man, what a freaking, I mean, from up at 70 down to 15. I hope none of you guys are back holders on this. And early on, I mean, they got halted on trading, but this is like the day after they opened IPO. So anyhow, Dolphin making a move. Looks like it's up about 18% over close on Friday. FLY, Leasing Ltd, ADR. So let's take out Fly FLY. And man, nice big spike here from about 13, low of 12.97 up to 18. So yeah, a lot of after hours trading. So nothing really in the day. Anything up? EDAP. Can-An Incorporated. It's up 10. Yeah, we'll take a look at Can. CAN. Yeah, mostly in the after hours as well. So this is how I would find a good scalping opportunity or a day trade. Look in here, use the volume that you would want to use from the price points, and it'll just give you a range of stocks that are trading, right? And you can see from versus where they closed at prior to where they're at now. And then I just go check them out and see what's going on, see if there's any news, right? So you want to look for high volume news catalysts, whether that be earnings or dividend or something that in the news to kind of drive that price action up and drive that volume into it. And it could be a very good opportunity for a day trade opportunity. Something about EEIQ, right? And we talked, actually, matter of fact, it's funny because we watched this the day that it went up. I ran a stock scan and found the position and was like, what's going on here? And it turns out it's because it's a new IPO. So all this was after hours. We found it that day. Oh, this is Friday. So matter of fact, Trace Trades actually talked about it in his video about how Robinhood, like when AMC and GME started to go up, that they restricted buying of the position. However, they did not restrict buying of EEIQ, although EEIQ went from $3.58 all the way up to $70, but it wasn't restricted. A little fishy, right? However, they were halted on Friday quite a few times. Don't know if you'll be able to see in this one. If I look back at the 1 day, you can see it here. They were halted a couple times in this range here. Like it was at least 3 or 4 times here, and you can go back to the news. Skyrocketed IPO. Where is it at? I know that they talk about it here. Shares resumed trading, up 49%. Halted again. Yep, halted, up 390%. Halted again on circuit breaker. Resumed trade. Halted. Higher, up 760. up 780, halted. So they were halted about 3 or 4 times here. 40 to 26% immediately halted on others. So they got halted quite a bit, but they were not restricted, on Robinhood. You could still buy this. So a little fishy. Just something I was thinking about as we were going through this game. Because I remember we did this on Friday. We went through the scans and we found stuff. Oh, and look at here. Aurora's cannabis. Why is this even popping up on my thing? ACB. If I were to go back and we'll see. I noticed something very fishy here. And I don't know. It maybe just didn't link my my watch list. Oh, where'd it go? I know it was here. Dang, I hate how it moves. Shoot, I probably lost it. Probably got bumped off. AMC's up here. I think it's just because of the volume. 20 million in volume for the day. And I'm guessing that's what this is all about, maybe. So, nice to see AMC on this list. BlackRock up a little bit. AMC up a little bit. 55 cents from what? Yeah, I don't think so, man. Oh, up 5 cents. Okay, I think it's just the volume that's here. That's the reason why it's in here. For whatever reason, my sorry, that's 2021, 2017, and we talked about, like, I had Tesla. I've been watching Tesla since 2017, Lululemon, and a few others, but they did not show up on my my watch list. However, when I log into TD Ameritrade on my phone, they are still on the watch list. So I don't know if maybe it just didn't pan over, and I had to add them again, or if I took them off of here. But I left them on my phone for whatever reason, because I know we were looking at it, we were talking about watch lists, and I'm like, yeah, I've been watching Tesla since this, and this was, I think I was talking about FSR, right? And Lululemon, which Lululemon, I mean, if you got in 2017, it's just trends, right? You see something that's huge. I mean, my girlfriend is huge in Lululemon. I have quite a few of their articles as well. But if you go back, just look at like a 3-year. I mean, nice little run up here from 86. I think when I started watching it was 65, and I wish I would have bought in. I mean, I have $400, man. Nice. Whereas all the things that I actually invested into, here's Aurora Cannabis, but this is a different one. This is ACBFF. So either it no longer exists, or let's just type in ACB, and here's Aurora. So it's currently trading at $9. I know not too many people are hot on pot stocks. You can see back here in, what is this, January, February, run up to 22. So they're actually trading a little bit lower. Oh, excuse me. We talk about ELY occasionally. I think they own a 10% stake in Topgolf. I'm out of this position, but they did hit a high of 32. I got out at like 21. I made a little bit of profit, not much, but got in, got out, long time ago. But I think for the long term, especially the more that Topgolf grows, that this will continue to grow as well. Now you see some seasonal ups and downs. What is this, 180? Yeah. This probably, yeah. So you see some stuff here. I don't know why. I guess maybe the new year, people are getting ready for golf, Christmas season after that. But usually you do see some taper offs here. This is October. So usually some earnings come out or something where it falls down. But I know all of most of 2020 here. Well, yeah, this is October 2020. So yeah, throughout the first of this year, seasonal spike here, which I think is very typical in this company. You just see, this just like motorcycles, right? There's certain time periods where sales are really high, and some that sales are quite low. Winter season, stuff like that. Although you get Christmas and kind of bounces things and gets the ball rolling. So probably, let's see. So that's what I say, October. Let's go look at a 3-year. So that's October. There's October. So maybe not. There's October. So you see it once, twice. You don't see it here in 2019, but you did see it. Yeah, and we kind of know what this is, though. We definitely know what this is. This is not October. This is October. So October. This is pandemic, and it could just been a pullback. So, but as like in commodities, there are things that have seasons. It's just something we have to understand with recreational activity holdings. Good thing I did not get into this. Man. High Crush is like a gravel company. Somebody, I don't know. I don't even want to get into it. But I had looked at buying something in there. And fortunately for me, excuse me, I did not. Because you see where the price is at. Let's go back here. AMC actually down on the day a little bit. About 0.5% or so. Man, AMTX taking a beating right now. Down almost $2 from close. Rocket doing okay, you know, not looking too bad. Thought they were up actually a little bit higher. Yeah, so they got up a little bit higher and then start to sell off here. So maybe people that were holding the bag from before kind of selling, whatever the case may be. We were oversold, and I didn't really see any news other than Wall Street bet stuff. So pump and dump possibly, mini one. I don't know. You know, you get enough news surrounding it. Hey, this is happening on Wall Street bets. It pumps up the stock. You know, with that catalyst, people get to where they need to be and pump it out. Just dump it. So AMC, you know, not looking too good right now. You know, again, trading on a low volume day. We'll see if we're gonna be like last week. I think we go back and look at last week. I think Monday and Tuesday were pretty low. Most of the week actually in volume was fairly low. So Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, yeah, we just really started to die down from Friday previous close when we couldn't push above that 14, and just kind of triggered. So we got back up. Yeah, a little bit of a pullback, kind of consolidating now. So it looks to me like that's what we're doing now. If you take a look at this macroscopically, just kind of zoom out and look at look at it on a larger scale instead of looking at it just on the one day. You look at it a little bit wider angle, and you can see we had a nice little push up and pull back, consolidating and getting ready to springboard for this next push is what I think. So I'll look to kind of see this thing just consolidate through here for the time being. Throughout the rest of the day, we might get a push this afternoon and maybe into the after hours. If we continue to drop and we get below 10, as I talked about last week, be a good time to buy some more shares. I have not purchased any more. Still holding the 300 strong. My Spartans over here at a dollar cost average of $8.68. Currently about down $7.50 on the day and up overall about $4.60. So quite a bit down from where we were at last week when we were seeing the 14s when I was up about $1,600. But I'm in it for the long term on this one, and yeah, I'm okay with that. So kind of a slow day here in the market. For those of you who are following along, there's only a few guys. Thank you for watching. Yeah, we'll see. I'll be back this afternoon, so I'm gonna just leave it off here. Currently at 10:22. Not really doing too much over here on AMC or GME. All right, so I'm gonna leave you guys off here. Want to thank you for watching this morning. Whoever's followed along, the couple of you guys, new viewers that swing by and just check it out. This is just my journey. This is for entertainment. I'm not a financial advisor, as you can tell. Just learning the charts, learning how to use the charts, learning how to swing trade, scalp, day trade. I've been investing for about the last 4 years. Most of those investments were dividend and long-term holdings. But this year I've started to see my account really grow. After being down about 50% in my portfolio of last year because of the pandemic, I was able to just hold on and close out a few of my troublesome positions for profit. And so far on the year, I'm up just about $2,000, I think, in profit. So anyhow, if there's anything you guys want me to check out, I don't even think you guys can leave comments. I'm gonna have to check. It looks like it's turned off. Looks like comments only open while I am streaming. Feel free to come check me out. Check some other streams out, and just follow along as I grow this channel. Thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you this afternoon for our closing statements. What do? I do opening bell statement, opening statements, and closing arguments. So kind of like courtroom style. We'll get, as I grow the channel and understand what I want to do, I think that will probably grow into something more. We do have some new terms for the day: bare minimum and bull maximum. So we'll keep using that. Anyhow, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you this afternoon. Peace.
Mic off.